And some of the negative comments that she gets are so disgusting. I feel offended and also a little bit like attacked. It's not easy to read, and it is written in such a fun way. It actually feels like I am watching the TV show, and I would be so surprised if this is not going to be a 5-star book. We started with 25 men at the beginning of the show. There are only 5 men left. This is a love triangle on steroids, and I am eating it up. I have something to look forward to tomorrow. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Tanisha and I love taking you along on my reading journey. And in today's video I'm going to take you along over a couple of days where I do some mood reading. So I'm going to read 1 or 2 books, but all the books that I'm reading in this video are on my physical TBR. I started this video series 7 months ago called Shrinking My TBR, where I tried to encourage myself to read books from my physical TBR to justify buying more books, but then I never made a new video in that series again. I want to pick that series up now, but I decided to rename the series to Backlog Diaries. So today is episode 2 of the Backlog Diaries, where I try to encourage myself to read books solely from my physical TBR, to shrink it, because I have 40 books on my physical TBR. I did a video recently where I talked about every single book that is on my physical TBR, and that video motivated me to start working on this TBR. I'm getting out of a reading slump, so I'm just going to mood read for a week or so. I was thinking about doing like a wheel spin video or maybe another challenge to pick the books off my physical TBR, but I really want to encourage this reading slump to leave the building. So I thought it would be best for me to mood read, to only pick up books when I'm very excited to read them, to help me get out of this slump. I'm not 100% sure how many books I'm going to read in this video. I might just read the 1 book that I've picked out, or I might add a second book depending on how fast I read this first book. The book that I am currently in the mood for is One to Watch by katestaymanlondon. This is a rom-com type of book. This book is about Bee. She is a plus-size blogger, and every week she talks about her favorite hit series, which is called Main Squeeze. It is a bachelorette type of show, so there are secret dates. Someone is going to get engaged at the end. And one thing that she has noticed is that people with a bigger size are not represented in the show. She decides to get on the show to represent girls like herself. But she had sworn off men before, so she's not looking for a relationship. She's just there to represent plus size girls. And of course, every single reality show comes with a lot of drama, so I'm very excited to read about that because I'm in the mood for some drama. Let's start, I guess. And then I will get back to you when I have made some progress, so we can talk about my first thoughts. So yeah, grab a drink and watch me read One to Watch for the Backlog Diaries. I've been reading this book for an hour now and I'm at page 70, so I have made quite a dent in the book. And I thought it would be best to give you my first thoughts before I take a shower and crawl into bed to read some more. I enjoy this book so much so far. It is written in normal text, but also with emails, text messages, Twitter threads, blog posts, stuff like that. It is so easy to read and also so entertaining. I connected with the main character from page 1. She's very relatable and also just very likable. I'm very interested in reading about how she got on the show. So I'm 70 pages in right now and the show hasn't started yet, but the announcement of her going on the show has been posted. So I'm now reading the first responses on her being on the show. Not all the responses are good. Obviously, you read about some blog posts that she made throughout her life before going on the show, and you read the responses from people on her posts, and not all of the responses are positive, just like in real life. And some of the negative comments that she gets are so disgusting. Like, I'm almost getting mad at the author for writing these things. But at the other hand, it is also not realistic to only write positive comments in this book. So I get why the author did it, but I also feel so offended. So yeah, it's not easy to read because I feel offended and also a little bit like attacked, since I am a plus size woman as well. You know, it also makes the story more authentic and realistic, which is very good. So I've already felt a lot of emotions in just the first 70 pages of this book, which is a very good thing because I thought this was going to be a silly little like rom-com chick lit book where I was just going to have to put my brain off and just enjoy the story, but it is heavier than I thought, which is a pleasant surprise. I hope I'm making sense because it is very hard for me to put my thoughts into words just because, I don't know, I'm having trouble speaking in English today. But we all have those days, right? I am loving this book so far, and I'm just going to stop yapping so I can continue reading because I do not want to put this book down. So I got to page 160 yesterday. I read for a bunch of hours after I last updated you. This book is so addictive. I had a lot of trouble putting my book down yesterday when I went to bed. And then I thought about the character and the story the entire time I was at work today. So I'm very excited to be home and that I can read for the rest of the afternoon because I honestly think that I'm going to finish this book today or read at least a big chunk of it. So I am this far in, so I only have this much left. It is so much fun. I don't know if I told you already, but the book is written in mixed media. So you have normal text, you have emails, text messages, Twitter threads, stuff like that. And the book is built up in chapters, but each chapter is a different part of the TV show. So at the beginning, you have the certain stages that you go through before you actually start the show. So she had like the interview with the producer of the show to talk about them wanting her to be the lead in the show. And then you have episode 1 and then the next chapter is episode 2 and you read all about what happens. And it is written in such a fun way. It actually feels like I am watching the TV show. And I think that's also why it is so addictive, because it actually feels like I'm watching a reality TV show. There are a lot of things happening that are either very uncomfortable because I'm like, how can someone say this to someone else? But it's also sometimes uncomfortable because I'm getting secondhand embarrassment. I would have been so anxious being in her position. I'm really happy I'm just reading this book and I'm not actually on the TV show because I would not be able to handle whatever this girl is going through. As you can hear, I am having so much fun and I would be so surprised if this is not going to be a 5-star book. I have a really good feeling about this book. I want to get back to this book and I will talk to you later when I have more to say. It has been a couple hours since I last talked to you, and it might look like I haven't moved, and that's right. I have not done anything but sit here and read Want to Watch. I am at page 220 right now, and the book has 420 pages, so I'm over halfway, as you can see. And I am currently reading about episode 5. We started with 25 men at the beginning of the show. There are only 5 men left, so you get to spend more time with the men and actually get to know them more and more, just as B is getting to know them more as well. And I didn't expect to be like so invested in the love story. Here there are multiple love interests, 5 to be exact right now, and I'm rooting for all of them, and I've never experienced that before. I am someone who hates love triangles. This is a love triangle on steroids and I am eating it up. Like, I love all of the men. They are so funny and thoughtful and they make the main character feel beautiful as she deserves, and I'm just so invested. So yeah, it is 7 p.m. right now, so I don't know if I'm going to finish this book today, but I'm going to try my best, and if I'm not going to finish today, I have something to look forward to tomorrow. I'm going to talk to you again when I finish this book, and probably be very sad that it's over. I finished Want to Watch, and this is a solid 5-star book. This was so much fun. The drama was amazing. My jaw was on the floor multiple times, but this was just so addictive. I had so much fun reading about the character. The main character is so relatable and likable, but also flawed. I didn't completely stand behind all her decisions, but I see what she was coming from, and I really like the decisions she made at the end of the show. This was so much fun. The drama was unhinged. The multiple plot twists that this book has were so unhinged. I didn't expect any of them. It is very different to get caught off guard by a romance book than when you're reading a thriller or fantasy, but the author had done an amazing job with this plot. I didn't get bored once. Obviously, not all the things that I was reading were comfortable because there were a lot of problematic things talked about, but not in a way where I felt like it was unnecessary. It just made the entire story better. Solid 5 stars. I had so much fun. I cannot believe this was the debut novel of this author, and I'm definitely going to pick up more books by her. With that being said, one book down from my TBR, only 39 to go. I'm not going to film every single time I read a book from my TBR just because not all the books on there are reading vlog worthy, but every time I start and finish a Backlog Diaries episode, I will show the current books on my physical TBR on screen so you know how I'm doing, and I will also be honest if I'm adding books to it. Thank you for watching episode 2 of the Backlog Diaries. I hope you had as much fun as I had with this book, and please read it if you haven't already because it is amazing. Let me know in the comments what book you are currently reading, and I will see you in my next video whenever I post it. Bye!